Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into two really profound philosophies that tackle one of life's biggest challenges, that feeling of being completely and totally overwhelmed by chaos. Now, both of these paths promise a way to freedom, but their methods are polar opposites. One is all about disciplined struggle, while the other is about radical surrender. And we're going to find out why. All right, let's just jump right into this with a moment of absolute crisis. This comes from the ancient epic, the Bhagavad Gita, and it's the warrior Arjuna, right on the edge of a battle he really doesn't want to fight. His despair, his confusion, his body is literally shutting down. I think we've all been there, right? It's that moment when you just feel lost in the fog, and you have no idea which way to go. You see, this feeling, this Arjuna moment of being completely overwhelmed, is the exact starting point for two major spiritual paths, yoga and Tantra. But here's the fascinating part. While they both start with the very same problem, their solutions for getting through the chaos are fundamentally, and I mean completely, opposed. So, first up, let's explore the path of yoga. From this point of view, the answer to all that inner chaos is found through discipline, through control, and through a really structured battle against our own impulses. You could call it a path of willful ascent. Now, what's really interesting here is how the Bhagavad Gita maps out this predictable chain reaction of downfall. It basically argues that if you let your mind just wander and dwell on things, the objects of your senses, it sets off this whole domino effect. First comes attachment, then desire turns to anger to delusion, and boom, you're at complete ruin. The logic is crystal clear. If you want to avoid disaster, you have to gain mastery at the very first step, over your senses. And this whole philosophy of control, it doesn't just stay in your head. Oh no, it expands into this massive system of cosmic justice. Texts like the Garuda Purana go into incredible detail about how every single action has a direct and totally inescapable consequence. And just look at how starkly this table lays that worldview out. We're talking about a universe that is governed by incredibly strict moral laws. Specific sins lead to very specific rebirths. There is zero ambiguity here. You take a meal where you're not invited, you become a crow in the next life. This isn't just a metaphor, you guys. It's presented as cosmic law. It's all about emphasizing just how critical disciplined moral action is. So, the bottom line of the yogic path is this. It is the way of the warrior. It's an active, determined struggle for purity and control. The goal is to conquer your lower nature, to control your mind, and to stick to a strict code so you can rise above all the chaos of the world. Okay, now, let's explore a completely different reality, the path of Tantra. If yoga is this disciplined climb up a mountain, Tantra is a radical, head-first dive into the very heart of reality itself. So Tantra looks at that whole warrior's struggle for control and basically says that's a false mastery. It's a disease. Instead of fighting your vital energies, like sexuality, for example, Tantra suggests that those energies aren't separate from you to begin with. You are that energy. So the goal isn't to control it. It's to melt into it, to completely merge with it. And this brings us right to the absolute core of the tantric path, which is total surrender. But what does surrender actually mean here? I mean, that's a word we often misunderstand, right? Surrender, in this context, has nothing to do with weakness or giving up. It's a really profound inner attitude. It's the act of letting go of your ego, that part of you that is constantly trying to control and manage and fight with reality. It's really about getting out of your own way, so that a deeper intelligence has a chance to operate through you. So this is the way of the alchemist. Instead of fighting to separate the pure from the impure, the alchemist just accepts everything, the light, the dark, all of it, and uses that raw energy for transformation. There are no strict moral rules to follow. Awareness itself is your only guide. The goal isn't to escape life, but to immerse yourself in it so totally that you actually become one with it. Okay, let's put these two powerful philosophies side by side to really see the difference. On one hand, you've got the warrior's struggle, and on the other, the alchemist's surrender. And right here, the contrast just becomes crystal clear. Yoga's method is a disciplined struggle, a lot like climbing a mountain. It's a difficult, upward battle to control the senses. Tantra's method is surrender, which is more like diving into the ocean. A total immersion where the senses become gateways to a deeper experience, not enemies to be conquered. So, this all brings us to a really critical question. With such deeply opposing methods, are these two paths fundamentally incompatible? Or are they just different ways of approaching the same ultimate reality? I mean, are they truly at odds with each other? Well, the sources suggest that maybe they aren't enemies at all, but are simply different methods that are suited for entirely different types of people. As this quote suggests, some paths just resonate more with a logical, thinking kind of mind that needs structure and discipline. The path of yoga, with its clear rules and cause and effect, would probably appeal to that temperament. But other paths resonate more with a feeling type, for whom devotion, trust, and just letting go feel more natural. And Tantra really speaks to that heart-centered approach. And, despite their totally clashing methods, the destination seems remarkably similar. Both yoga and Tantra, just in their own unique language, are trying to liberate the individual from suffering, from that endless cycle of birth and death. They both want to answer Arjuna's initial cry of anguish with a state of profound peace and freedom. And that leaves us with a final thought to carry with us. In the face of your own Arjuna moments, when your own mind is whirling and you can't quite hold steady, which path resonates more deeply with you? The warrior's disciplined struggle or the alchemist's radical acceptance?